Good morning, guys. Welcome to lesson 4. So, first of all, I want to give a bit of feedback on the last lesson. That was the descriptive techniques lesson. I've just finished, a couple of hours ago, marking the rest of the classes. So, if you want to go on, you can check and see what my feedback is. I was so impressed by these. This is, I don't know. I don't know what's happened or whether you guys are all just, you've got loads of time in your hands, but you've all really, really got what it is we're doing, and you've all put such a huge amount of effort in. So well done there. A lot of people were really easily using similes, metaphor, some people were using personification, we're seeing lots of onomatopoeia. The one thing that I want to really kind of make a point of is please don't forget this when the time comes to write your assassin story in a couple of weeks. Okay, I it will break my heart to see you doing such amazing work in the tasks with in the individual tasks I'm setting you, and then forgetting and getting to the actual story and just saying, and then this happened, and forgetting to do all the techniques. So please remember, when you're writing the story, you're going to be using the five senses, you're going to be using similes, metaphors, and things like that. Just a really quick thing. I don't know if this is a social media you guys use, but the department has a Twitter account, and it mostly is just run by me, although I'm going to try and get other teachers to put stuff on it as well. And when I was reading your Boat in the Storm extracts, I felt like so many of them deserved to, I don't know, be put somewhere or displayed. I felt like the quotes were like almost professional seeming. So what I did was I made them up into these I basically just put them onto pictures to make them look a bit more legit, and they look so good. So this one was one that Lily did. The way the wind screeched and screamed around us was though it was begging the wave to drown the boat and pull the boat along with everyone on it down to the murky depths below. Got one from Alec. It was like a gargantuan avalanche crashing towards the desperate... Oh, it says skiers. Oh, no, I wonder if it's skies. The top and bottom of the wave formed into teeth, and from the perspective of the poor men in the boat, there was no wave, only a giant sea monster trying to eat the boat. And then one by Megan. The thunderclouds were roaring like lions, and the lightning bolts were dancing in front of their terrified eyes. The wind was whistling all around them and biting at their faces. I just felt like these were so descriptive, and putting it onto that background made it look really, really good. If you want to... you can go onto the Twitter and have a look. I'll be putting things up fairly regularly. Stuff that you do, stuff that other classes do. It's at English_Mearns. I'll probably put it up on the actual Google Classroom as well for you to follow through to. I just want to basically be showcasing what you guys are up to, because sometimes it can feel like you're stuck at home and sending stuff off into the unknown and just getting a little bit of feedback back. It can maybe feel like it's like, what's the point? And I really want people to know. I want to show things, Mrs. Craig and your parents and things, how unbelievably well you guys have been working. Right, let's move on to today's task. So we have done five senses, we've done some descriptive techniques. Today we're working on something called show not tell. If you've done creative writing in S1, you may well have done show not tell before, so this might just be a bit of revision, effectively. Just as a quick thing, this task is not going to be as long as the previous one. I'm not going to be asking you to write a paragraph. It's going to be one of the first ones I haven't made you do that. So you can breathe a sigh of relief if you've been finding the extended writing a bit much recently. So show not tell, or show don't tell, people call it either or, is a technique that is there to create an image in someone's mind. The best way of explaining it to you is to explain by example. If I were to write, the house was scary, all of you in the class would probably imagine something different. Some of you might imagine a really old house. with kind of peeling paint. Some of you might imagine kind of a big castle. Some of you might imagine like a cabin in the woods. Some of you might imagine it being like a horrible little gingerbread cottage with creepy witch inside. I don't know. That's the problem. If you were to read a book and it just said the house was scary, you'd have no image in your mind. You'd get confused. You wouldn't really know how to picture it. And the writer wouldn't be putting the message across. They wouldn't be able to be scaring people or making them feel the emotion they want. So that, saying the house was scary, that is telling. You're just telling the reader what it is. What you need to do is you need to show. And when we show, not tell, we're effectively just listing things or adding extra description to create a clearer picture. So instead of saying the house was scary, what if I were to write, the tall, dark house creaked and moaned, its broken windows like sharp teeth, and its walls oozing with mold and damp? Surely you can imagine it a lot better now, and you can get an idea of how you're supposed to feel. So we've got a little bit of this idea that personification, it feels kind of alive. You've got description of the windows and the mold, and it makes you very uncomfortable. So in Show Not Tell, we definitely bring in things like 5 senses, and we bring in the descriptive techniques. So it's a bit more of a wider thing using Show Not Tell, but it effectively is, instead of just telling me what it is, try and paint the picture. Okay? Go away. Right. So I've got my first task for you, which is not going on. There we go. I would like you to, instead of telling me the sentence, which is the canteen was in chaos, I would like you to show what that would look like. So write 4 sentences that show, through description, what would be happening in the canteen without using the word chaos. So so in the picture I've done it as a food fight. It could be something totally different. The canteen could be overrun with large insects or have a storm raging through it due to broken windows and things like that. It's up to you, but you need to write 4 sentences that describe the canteen as being in chaos without saying anything like it was chaotic. I need you to say something like food was being thrown through the air, or the canteen was filled with smoke, or whatever it is that you think. So it's like 4 short sentences that describe the canteen as being chaos. You can have it as a wee paragraph, or you can just have it as 4 individual sentences. So that's your first task. Give this a pause now and get that done, and I'll tell you what the next task is. Okay, you should be finished with your chaotic canteen task. Read back over what you've done and make sure that when you read it, you can visualize this mad canteen scene. So by reading it, you can really picture in your head, and if you can do that, then your sentences work really, really well. I've actually only got one more task for you, and all it is to change these telling sentences into showing sentences, and it's just the one sentence I need for each point, okay? So your first one is, the assassin was nervous. How can you show that somebody is nervous? What that might they be doing with their hands? Might you be able to see something physical? Maybe their face will look strange. Is something happening to their heart? So try to show me the assassin was nervous without telling me. I've chosen this because I think a lot of you might include this in your story, and I don't want to see anyone saying the assassin was scared, the assassin was excited. No, it's rubbish. I want you to say the assassin's palms were sweating, etc., etc. Okay. Your second thing to change into your own why does it say own? I feel like I've just was in another world while doing this, into showing sentences. I obviously, like, I've got close reading on the brain here. I'm not making you guys do close reading. Change the sentence into showing sentences. So the city was busy. How can you show me that the city was busy instead of telling me? What might you be able to see? So you might actually be bringing in some of your 5 senses skills here. And you can maybe borrow from your notes, from when you took the notes on the silent video of the city. And your third one is, the basement was scary. So what might you be able to see? How can you describe the basement as being scary without using the word scary, and instead just using description? So you should have worked out, and I've kind of said it enough already, that this is so similar to the other things that we have learned. It's really, really similar. It goes hand in hand with the 5 senses. We encourage you to replace really easy things like scary or busy that make you sound really young, make you sound kind of like, primary school. And we encourage you to replace that with proper description, using things like the five senses, using techniques, the like metaphor and simile and things like that. So what's going to happen is you're going to have changed these 3 sentences. They'll just be slightly longer sentences. Again, I'm not asking for paragraphs, just 1 sentence, but it'll be a bit longer than this one. Okay? Some people, every time I set this task, think that they just need to replace this word with a more descriptive word. So instead of saying the assassin was nervous, they say the assassin's was nerve-wracked or something like that. That's not what I want. It's listing, it's explaining what the assassin might be looking like or doing to help tell me that they're nervous. Okay, so if you told me the assassin's chewing his nails, then I know he's nervous without you telling me. Okay, so that's what I mean, a show, not tell. That is the lesson today. So hopefully at the end you'll have uploaded your tiny short little Canteen in Chaos passage and your 3 sentences, and I'll give you a wee bit of feedback on that once that is done. If you've got any questions, please comment on the assignment. But I think that is everything. Just again, you should all be really, really proud of yourselves with the quality of work that you are producing, and I'm looking forward to seeing this continue, and I cannot wait to see the way that you're going to put all these techniques into your stories. I think this is the last lesson we're going to spend on like learning skills, and next lesson we're actually going to start building up our stories and creating our characters. All right, I will see you next time. I hope this task goes okay. Goodbye, guys.